Back to our noon Friday classes. This is one of my favorite classes to teach up at the studio. And so I want to continue teaching this one. So thanks for being here. So this is my first time doing an in-person class here in the new space, our public coffee space. And it seems to be working out just fine. I am still live streaming, so this is going. We're live, and still people might be watching at home. So hello if you're watching from home. A Power Hour class. My name is John, and we're going to focus on, I think our theme and intention for today will be on grounding and balancing. I'll say more about that as we kind of get into the practice. So grounding and balancing. If you have props with you, maybe a couple of blocks would probably be sufficient for your practice today. If you happen to have a strap, you don't need a strap. A strap might come in handy, but you don't actually need one. But a block might come in handy. So let's go ahead and begin. We're going to start in mountain pose. So I invite you to stand nice and tall near the top of your mat. You might stand with your feet about hip distance apart, toes forward, but if it feels more comfortable to perhaps take your feet a little wider or even turn the toes out, that's fine too. But really establish a sense of balance between your feet. Just notice if you happen to be shifting from one side or the other, or you're weighted on one side. Yeah, you might look down at your feet, or just get a sense of where you're settling. And that's our intention today. Just a sense of grounding. So as you're taking some deep breaths in and out, just notice your feet. Notice your feet. And even notice the texture of your mat underneath you. Take a moment maybe to grip your mat with your toes, just so you know, oh yes, I can feel that texture, I feel the ground. And as you're getting more in tune with your breath, I invite you to then take a nice inhale, a nice full inhale, and feel the breath rising upward to fill up your lungs. And exhale, you might connect to center by drawing your navel inward towards your spine, just to get a sense of your center, connection. This also will help to establish our sense of balance. And here's another sensation you can think about as well. An inhale to feel the breath rising to fill up your lungs. So feel the energy rise. But as you exhale, in addition to engaging your belly, feel that energy or breath even move down through your body, down through your legs, down to your feet, and into the ground. Maybe that's just something that you would imagine. So again, an inhale, feeling the breath rise. And the exhale, as if you're sending the breath down your body, down through your legs, down through your feet, and into the earth. Do that a few more times on your own. And maybe think of a few words. I'll provide some for reference. Something that might, for you, represent groundedness. I'll even suggest settling, foundation, centered, connected. So maybe one of those words or a few of those words or any word that represents for you a sense of grounding. Take 3 more breaths in and out. And ready to move with breath. When you're ready, inhale, extend your arms into the air, a nice reach, a good stretch. And exhale, we'll fold forward. So a good hinge from your hips. You might bend your knees quite a bit if you'd like. And just fold forward, down towards your toes. Then inhale, slide your hands up to your knees or your thighs. Good. And extend your spine, creating a tabletop with your body. Exhale, let's fold again. We're going to hold here for a moment. Now you can stay partially folded, meaning your hands might be at your shins. So you don't have to go all the way down. Unless you'd like to, maybe you'll bend your knees a bit more, curve your spine a little bit more, and maybe touch your toes. Or even maybe bring your fingertips, a couple of fingertips to touch the ground. So another sense of being connected to the ground. Not only your feet, but maybe your fingers. And just that awareness, this connection to the ground. Let's do another halfway lift. Inhale, slide your hands up to your knees or thighs, extending. Exhale, fold. Now we're going to keep this moving. Shift your weight back into your heels. Bend your knees And then inhale, sweep your arms out and up, reach into the sky. And a nice stretch there. Exhale, bring your palms together and down to your heart. Hold for a moment. We're just going to pause. Once again, awareness of breath. And inhale to fill up your heart. Your exhale, sending it down into the ground. Let's do one more half salute. Inhale, sweep your arms out and up. Exhale, fold forward. A good hinge from hips, bent knees. We're just going to make this flow. Go at your own pace. Inhale, rise up halfway, sliding hands to knees or thighs, extending spine. Exhale, fold. A little weight shift into the heels, bend your knees. Let's inhale, reverse your swan dive again, reaching upward. Exhale, bring your palms together and down to your heart. And as you come back to stillness, bring those same foundational words back into your mind. Grounded, connected, foundation. I want to add another intention or word around that, and think about this as being your home base. Somewhere where you feel safe, you feel connected, you can kind of take that sigh of relief because you've made it home. So think of this as a home base, where hopefully you do feel connected and grounded. Let's continue. Let's inhale, sweep the arms out and up, reaching high. Exhale, let's swan dive forward. Again, just moving at your own pace. You never have to rush with this. Inhale, rise up halfway. Feel the top of your head lead you forward. As you exhale, bend your knees enough to bring your hands to your mat so you can step back into plank pose. Let's hold here for a moment. Now we've really got our hands firmly pressing down into the floor. So just have that awareness. Just look at your hands, spread out your fingers, building this new foundation. Let's breathe in. And on the exhale, just bend your knees a little, send your hips into the air, just guide yourself into downward facing dog. Just our little shortcut, which you can do any time in your practice. Just make any adjustments with your hands and feet on your mat. Again, just settling in. Now we're in this upside down or inverted posture. Feel free to pedal the feet if you'd like, pressing one heel down as the other heel lifts, and then alternate. Yes, you can get a stretch through your calves, your toes, the bottoms of your feet. So go ahead and let the knees bend quite a bit as you're taking these little walking sensations. Let your hips shift side to side. And still very aware of the planted hands into the ground. Strong hands, strong arms, right up to your shoulders and chest. We're going to go ahead and continue from here. Just pause, hold still for a moment. Then inhale, extend your right leg up into the air. Just reach back behind you is good, yes. Exhale, let's bring this right foot up to the top of the mat, next to your right hand. We'll turn left heel to the floor, even shift your body weight back, pushing your hips back towards the back edge of your mat. So you can easily rise up to fingertips like this, if you can see me. Nice long spine. Then sweep your arms out to the side and rise up until we're in Warrior One. We're going to hold our Warrior One for a moment. So a little extra reach up into the air, a little bend of the knee, nice lunge. That's it. Stay right where you are. Good. Just mirroring you here. Good. And if this feels a little hunched up in your neck and shoulders, even feel free to take the arms out wide. If your arms get tired, you can always just bend your elbows, something like that. Okay. Let's take a breath in. And exhale, just carefully fold. Just bring your hands back down to the mat. Step back into plank pose. Again, we'll just pause there for a second just to build some good strength through the entire body. Bend your knees a little. Send your hips into the air. Downward facing dog. Just another shortcut. Adjust the hands and feet. Let's do the other side. And inhale to extend left leg up into the air. Reach long. Exhale, left foot now to the top of the mat. Next to left hand, right heel turns to the floor. Good. Shifting weight back into that foot. Find that balance as you're able to rise to fingertips. So it's something like this, so there's no weight on your hands because you've lifted and you can extend the spine easily. Sweep your arms out and up, reaching into the air. Once again, we'll just hold this Warrior One. Reaching high, lunging low. Make those adjustments if you want to adjust the arms, something like that. Anything is good. Yes. Good. Good breathing. We'll take a breath in, ready to move. Our exhale to carefully fold. Hands down to the mat. Step back into plank pose. Hold for a second. Now you're still welcome to move through that shortcut, Or finish the full flow. Come down, Chaturanga Dandasana. These are options. Maybe a low cobra or upward facing dog. You can decide there. Then exhale, downward facing dog. Hold. Now look at the space between your hands and take a walk or a big step forward up to the top of the mat. Good. Inhale, rising up halfway. Here's our fold. Exhale. Lean back into your heels, bend your knees, sweep the arms out and up, reach into the air. Another nice stretch, and exhale, hands down to your heart. As we go through these sequences, think of yourself like you're traveling, and you're traveling away from home, but then we come back home, back to this home base. We're going to do some balancing here. Tree pose. So we'll start shifting your weight over into your right foot, so a little shift of weight, and just notice, make that very obvious. Okay, here's my weight shifting over to the right side. Root into the floor, really ground down. And then maybe an inhale to feel the lifting and lengthening of spine. Good. Core control by exhaling. Then we can float that left foot up pretty easily, maybe a flexed foot to keep it active. We'll swing the knee out to the side. That's it. And just placing foot on the inside of your standing leg. You can keep it at calf level. That's where I usually go. You can certainly bring it up to inner thigh. You can even use the floor. Use the ground. Use your mat. Remember, use the ground. You can always be grounded like this. Then when you're ready, maybe sweep the arms out and up. You can keep that V shape in the arms, or bent elbows, or straight up. So our first balancing posture. So some things to be aware of. Maybe finding something out in front of you. It might be down low on the ground that you can focus on to help you with your balance. Even if you teeter a little bit, no worries. Keep the arms as they are. We're going to swing this left knee forward. Lift your knee with the flexed foot. Stay there if you can. We're going to extend this leg. Just push through the heel. The leg can be very low, even lower than this. But straight as can be with the flexed foot, pushing heel forward. Slowly bring this foot down to the floor. Let's bring the arms down by your side. And once you're here, shake this out. Release. Circle the wrists, wiggle your fingers, elbows, shoulders, even your head and neck. Knowing that sometimes when we step away or step into something like a balance, we get a little tense. Okay? So this is that opportunity to kind of shake all that out. And when you're ready, let's start shifting weight now into the left foot. Root down, that obvious shift of weight. Root into the floor, nice and tall up top with an inhale, exhaling to a connect. Whenever you're ready, we'll flip the right foot up, bending the knee, maybe a flexed foot. Yes, swing the knee out to the side. Doesn't have to go all the way to the side, even at an angle's fine. And then placing foot on the inside of your leg, low if you want to. Use the ground, it's there. Or inner thigh. Inhale, let's take the arms up, and maybe use that as a way to kind of lift yourself up. Find something out in front of you. It might be low on the ground. Find a line or a piece of tape on the floor, the carpet, a picture out front of you, a brick. Making our way back home. Let's keep the arms as they are. We're swinging the left knee forward. Lift the knee, flex foot, but then extend the leg, even down low, reaching or pushing through the heel. Nice. Maybe reach up a little higher with the arms. There you go. Then slowly bring foot back down to the floor. Make that connection, and again, bring the arms down by your side. Let's get rid of that tension. Let's shake it all out. Even your feet. Good. You might want to stretch your toes, take a foot, maybe just shake it out a little bit. Letting all that go. Remember, you're home. Think of this as your home base. So it's like, this is where you get to relax. So shake that out. Then we'll prepare for our next sequence. Still moving at your own pace. Here we go. Inhale, reach out and up. Exhale. Let's take chair pose. Just a little bend of the knee. Sit back. You don't have to sit down and deep at all. Breathe in. Exhale, let's dive out of our seat back down towards toes. Here we go. Inhale, sliding hands up to knees or thighs, extending spine. This exhale, bend your knees, hands to the mat. We'll step back. Here's plank. If you want to, Chaturanga Dandasana, or any version of your flow to return to a downward facing dog. And of course, that could be that shortcut, bending the knees, sending hips into the air. Make some adjustments with hands and feet once you're in your down dog. Let's keep it flowing. Inhale, extend right leg up. Hold for a second because we're going to open this up. Bend your knee. Yeah, bring your heel down towards your backside and a simple lift of the knee up towards the ceiling. Doesn't have to lift high. All we're really shooting for is a nice hip opener and a mild rotation in the spine. Breathe in. Exhale, we'll unwind. Let's send right foot to the top of the mat. Now we're going to keep the left heel lifted this time. We're going for a high lunge. The weight is probably forward, so we still want to shift the weight back towards that lifted left heel. Rise to fingertips, so we're here like this, long spine. And that should allow you just to use the strong leg and your core to help rise up. Take the arms up into the air, reach and lunge. Okay, now this is a little different from our Warrior One that we did earlier, mainly, of course, because we have that back heel lifted. This takes more balance. I'm just going to turn towards you. So to help with some of that balance, feel like there's a block, I'll even use a block, like you're squeezing a block between your thighs, even though your legs are separated. So a little squeeze there, yeah. Still finding something out front to focus on. Then we're going to breathe in and actually lift a little so you can easily turn that back leg, turning the heel to the floor, open up to a Warrior Two. Make some adjustments with the feet if you need to, a wider stance. A nice lunge, outstretched arms. Let's follow the right arm forward, reaching out to angle the upper half of the body. There you go. Right arm down, left arm up into the air. Now this, yeah, you can stay up high in this pose, perfectly good. You can certainly go lower if you want. Maybe a block comes in handy to place the hand on your block if the hand doesn't reach the ground. Breathe in. And your exhale, let's turn towards the floor, carefully bend. Hands to the mat. We're going back to down dog with the right leg in the air. So sweep the right foot back and right up into the sky once again. Exhale right away, right foot to the top of the mat. We'll return to that high lunge. So left heel stays lifted, shifting weight back for balance. Just float your way up. Reach high, lunge low. Everything squeezing to center. Squeeze to inner thighs. Squeeze in belly. Even squeeze an imaginary box above you. Even if your arms are like this, you can still squeeze to center. Hold. You're going to lift to straighten the legs a little bit. Reopen to a Warrior Two. Now we're going to set this up for triangle. So you're going to straighten the right leg. Now if you feel like your feet are too far apart, you can always bring the feet a little closer together, which I'm going to do. Just a little closer. Just like that. And then our triangle, yeah, so follow your right arm or right hand out over that leg, straight right leg and rotate, right arm down, left arm up. And maybe just feeling this nice extension or stretch quality in your right hamstring. To come out of the pose, let's start with the nice knee bend. Bend the right knee. Come up through a Warrior Two. Reverse your warrior. Take your right hand up into the air. Reach for the ceiling or even somewhere out in front of you. You can even reach behind you. Just some lengthening through the right side of your body. We're going to windmill and bring the hands down to the floor in front. Let's step back into plank pose, both feet on the ground, and finish your flow. Your shortcut to down dog is fine. Or an up dog, or cobra, meeting together in downward facing. So we'll do that same sequence on the other side. Whenever you're ready, and inhale to extend left leg into the air. We're going to open this up by bending the knee. Lift the knee straight up towards the ceiling. Notice and feel the hip opener and the mild rotation in your spine. Breathe in, and your exhale to unwind, left foot to the top of the mat. Right heel stays lifted. We're going back to that high lunge on this side now. Shifting the weight back. Rise to fingertips, extend spine. So we're just doing these little breakdowns right here. Strong leg and core is going to help you to lift, hinging from hips, rising up into the air. Reach up, lunge low. Hold. Good. Remember that balancing act. We're squeezing inner thighs towards each other to help with that stability. Core is engaged and feeling like you're holding on to something over your head. Good. And there's still that focus forward, because I consider this a balancing pose, since that back heel is not on the ground. Let's lift up so we can easily turn and open to our warrior two. Make some adjustments, maybe a wider stance, outstretched arms. Let's follow the left arm forward, reaching out, angled upper body, rotate the arms. Perfectly fine if you stay up high, which I typically do in this pose. A nice reaching sensation, right arm up into the air. Breathing in and out, so your body can really experience this extended pose. An opening posture. Ready to move, we'll breathe in. Our exhale to turn, hands to the ground. We're going back to down dog. So you're going to sweep the left foot back and right up into the air. Return to the inverted pose. The exhale, a return to the front of the mat with the left foot. High lunge again, shifting weight back. If you can, just float your way right up. And once you're reaching into the sky, lift up, but then lunge low. Hold for a moment, squeezing to inner thighs, finding your centers. Now we're lifting to come out of that pose a little bit, reopening to our warrior two. Let's get set up for our triangle. We're straightening the left leg. Maybe shorten the distance between the feet. Reaching out over the left thigh. Rotate the arms. Stay up high if you want to. Certainly welcome to go lower. Maybe just to the point where you feel like, okay, there's that stretch I like in the hamstring. Good breathing. That's what we want to experience, especially when we're just holding a pose. Let's move. Let's start with the bend of the left knee, lunging, so you can come up easily, yes, through your warrior two, then reverse your warrior. Left hand reaching into the air. It could be somewhat forward like I am at the moment, or reach straight up, or carefully behind you, whatever you prefer. Then here comes our big windmill, bringing the hands back down to the mat. We'll step back into plank pose, complete your series as you'd like, meeting together in downward facing dog. Yeah, you can keep that that back bend low. You can keep it a cobra pose if you'd like. Okay, let's go to the floor here. Let's come down to our knees, sit back briefly in hero, but then slide off the feet onto your mat. Let's swing the legs around to the front. We're going to lie down. So find your center on the mat and go ahead and lie down. We're going to bridge pose. Feel free to use props. If you have a block or blocks or a blanket or something like that for extra stability, please use them. So we're going to lie down with the knees bent, feet flat on the floor, preparing for our bridge, our back bend. But for a moment, before we engage, let the body relax. So this is another kind of a home base-like posture. We're lying down, we feel this connection to the ground. So take that moment to really experience the ground underneath you. Maybe it's just simply experiencing what parts of your body are touching the ground. Whenever you're ready, we're going to start moving into our bridge. It starts with the breath, so we'll inhale to fill up the lungs. With the exhale, you might empty your belly, blowing the air out of your mouth if you'd like, and then peel your hips up off the floor. Just a simple lift. They don't have to lift very high. You might use your hands to help lift yourself up or just sit in your hands. You can even just slide a block underneath you and literally sit on a block, or maybe a nice bolster if you have one. And if you want to get more of that back bend feel, you might roll or you might rock left and right a little bit, getting your shoulders and your arms a little bit underneath you. You might even interlace your fingers underneath you. This is just one way to do this. Or you might bend your elbows at 90 degrees, like robot arms, and just press your triceps, yes, down into the ground, helping to open up through the chest space, and maybe your hips will lift a little higher. Now, this is very different from being settled and grounded. This does take some energy, strength, and effort. Two more breaths. After that second breath, you're just going to wiggle your toes forward a little bit, extend your arms straight up into the air, then roll your way down to the ground. Let's create an extended body. Maybe reach the legs out front, straight legs. Reach your arms behind you, reach and stretch. Inhale there. Then your exhale, we can bring knees to chest, catch your knees with your hands, and maybe some movement here. some rocking left and right, or making circles, or forward and back. Just carefully here. And again, mindful of the ground underneath you. This foundational effect. There certainly can be times in our lives when we don't feel very settled, like the rug has been pulled out from underneath us, and you don't feel very stable at all. So we perhaps need to find ways or strategies to reground. Like, how do I get my footing again? So maybe this practice can remind us of what we can do. All right, now start to rock forward and back carefully. With an exhale, let's rock our way up to seated. If it feels better to roll to your side and then sit up, do that. Let's go into boat pose. Nice lengthened spine with an angled upper body, something like this. A good exhale. Now I'm just going to do several options here that you can choose from. I have an angled upper body. It's a straight spine. I like holding onto the knees. My feet are flexed, but the heels can be on the ground. You can do the exact same thing. You might lean back a little bit more so the feet naturally float into the air. There you go. Holding on for dear life. With hands on the legs here, or you might release. Each step we take, it's like that step away from that place of safety, stepping away from maybe feeling a little less settled and balanced and secure. This takes a little bit more energy and strength. All right, we're moving. Breathing in. Exhale, cross legs. If you can, hands into the front of your mat to step back into plank, or just lean to the side, and then just step back into your plank pose. Bend your knees here, send your hips into the air, downward facing dog. All right, take a kneeling position. Just if you happen to have blocks, bring them in. You're going to bring the blocks maybe over to the left side. Even one block is fine. Over to the left side of your mat so they're handy. Okay, then we're going to come back to a down dog. Now, when you're ready, inhale, re-extend that right leg straight up into the air. Right foot up to the top of the mat. Let's hold here in this little runner's lunge. So that left heel stays lifted. You might shift the weight back a little bit. Now, we're going to bring, if you want, you don't have to do this. You can bring those blocks in if you happen to have a set of blocks, and place your left hand or fingertips up on the block, something like this. It lifts you up. Or if you don't have blocks, maybe just, I call these spider's legs. So just on your fingertips, so you're something like this, just to give you a little bit of height. But you've got the support of the ground. Now, just swing your right hand out to the right side. I'm just going to mirror you guys here. Okay? And find some more extension of your spine, your crown coming forward. Exhale and continue dialing towards your right side of the room. We just basically have created a twist, a revolving, lunge here. Now, having some height may give you a little bit more space in the torso and waistline so that you can twist. We're going to breathe in. Exhale. Let's bring the hands back down to the floor. If you've got blocks, send them over to the other side. Okay. Hands on the mat so we can step back into plank pose. Hold there. Bend your knees, hips into the sky, downward facing dog. Exact same thing, other side. Inhale, extend left leg into the air, reach. Exhale, left foot to the top of the mat. We'll stay there for our runner's lunge. Shifting the weight back so there's balance. Bring those blocks in if you're using them. Let's place the right hand or fingertips on the blocks or the spider's legs on the ground. Extend your left arm out to the left side. That gives you the opportunity to find and feel more length through the torso. Then exhale and just swing, or it's like a dial, turning that dial towards the left side. Yes. And just creating a rotation. And you don't have to over-rotate. Even just some sense of turning towards that left side does the trick. Breathe in. Exhale, let's unwind, bringing fingertips back down to the floor. Maybe move the blocks out in front of you on the mat. Hands to the mat, step back, plank pose, and maybe finish the whole sequence if you'd like. Chaturanga, up dog, down dog. I just took a little shortcut to downward facing dog. Breathe in. And your exhale, walk or step or even hop both feet up to the top of your mat. We'll inhale to extend spine. Exhale, fold. Lean back into your heels a little bit. Bend your knees. We'll inhale, come up to standing, reach into the air. And your exhale, arms down by your side. Returning home. Shake it all out. Because we did some dynamic movements there. We keep stepping a little farther away from home base, which can be a little nerve-wracking sometimes. We don't always know what's going to happen. So now we get, oh, I'm home. Shake it all out. All right. More balancing. Shifting weight over to the right foot again. Root down, nice and long and tall through the spine. Our exhale to engage. We're just going to float that left foot up. Flex the foot. Keep it there. We're going to bring hands to hips. And just kind of sense like an evenness in the hips. Even feel like you're pushing your pelvis down with your hands. And at the same time, feel like you're standing up a little taller. We're going to re-extend that leg down low. Keeping it low is fine. You can lift it, but you don't have to. If it's here, it's perfect. Just straight as can be. Flex foot just keeps that leg active so it can stay straight. Hold. Finding something to focus on out in front of you. And it's probably easy if it's down low. Slow motion, we're just bringing that foot back down to the mat. Find balance, even let the arms hang loose. Return home. No rush until we get to the other side. And when you're ready, we'll start shifting weight into the left foot. Feel that shift. Root into the ground. Long spine, core connected. We'll float right foot up when you're ready. Okay, hands on hips. Push pelvis down as you feel more spinal extension. With an exhale, we're just driving the heel forward to extend the leg. Maybe it can lift. Maybe you can't hold it there. Maybe it drops a little bit. That's fine. It doesn't have to be high at all. We're balancing. We're on one foot. You've got it. See if you can hold a little bit longer. It gets a little uncomfortable, a little unsteady. Even if you're wobbling a little bit, maybe starting to sweat a little, and we'll slowly bring that foot back down to the floor, find balance on 2 feet, return home, shake it out. Okay. Continue to relax. If you want to get some water, get some water. Let me just show you this next little piece because it has a little bit more dynamics to it, and I'm just going to demonstrate it first. So even at home, if you're watching, just watch. Okay? So I'm just going to do the same thing, actually. I'm just going to shift my weight over into my right foot. I'm just rooting there. You can relax, you guys. And I'm going to float my left foot up into the air. Same thing. Now, instead of extending the leg, I'm going to keep it bent, okay? But I'm going to bend my right knee, the leg I'm standing on. I'm just going to drop down like that, okay? My focus is forward, but I'm going to start to hinge or tip. The bent knee helps. I'm just going to start to tip over, and this left leg is starting to go back. And as I get tipped over here, I'm going to start to extend that leg back behind me. If you're able, keep your hands on hips. Or if you need the floor or some blocks out front, so if you want to get your blocks out front, you can do that. This is where you can balance, and this is what we're doing. We're just coming to a balancing position. I'm just on my fingertips, on my blocks, and this helps to steady me. And then to finish, I'm just going to bring the knee back in, a little rounding of the spine, set the foot onto the floor, rebalancing on 2 feet, and then rise back up to finish. So that's our sequence. Just so we're moving into a warrior 3-like position. So maybe hands on hips when we get into that pose, or bring the hands down to your block or the ground. So here we go, together. Mountain pose, feel the balance on 2 feet. Start shifting weight into the right foot. Let's float the left foot up. Let's place hands on hips. Still feeling like you're pushing the pelvis down, getting tall. Core engaged, that's your exhale. Stay here, but you're going to bend the right knee. Okay, so we just kind of drop down a little bit. And then we start to hinge or tip forward. Start extending the left leg back. Your torso becomes parallel to the floor. That's where we're headed. Left leg extends out behind you, so it's parallel to the floor. Hands can stay on hips or bring hands down to the floor or your blocks. Now, the right knee can stay very bent here. It does not have to be absolutely straight. So another stepping away from home base. It's balance work. It's challenging. But if we come back to our roots, knowing that if I use core connection or that squeezing to midline, those are strategies that help us stay in the balance. Now, bend left knee, bring it in towards chest, rounding the spine a little bit. Set the foot down next to the other. Now rebalance on 2 feet. We'll stand up tall. Let's sweep the arms out and up. Reach into the air. And again, just bring the arms down by your side. Now, since you were balancing on that right foot for a long time, you might want to stretch it out a little bit or shake it out. It's a lot of energy in that one leg, right? Yes, there you go. So you can let that go and then prepare for the other side. When you feel set, just come back to balance. Mountain pose, balanced on 2 feet. Same thing. Start shifting weight into your left foot. Root. We'll float the right foot up. A flexed foot just keeps the legs strong. Hands on hips. Push pelvis down, get tall. Hold for a second. A little bend of that left knee, and that left leg can stay bent for the entirety now. Start to hinge or tip forward. As you're hinging forward, slowly extend the right leg back. Reaching back through the toes, even through the heel. Tipping, maybe hands can stay on hips, or you're getting low enough where you can catch the floor or your stack of blocks. And even if you're at an angle, maybe you didn't make it to full parallel. Maybe you're something like this if you can see me. Maybe this works just fine. If this is it, then this is it. Because you're still doing balance work. Extending, that's part of the strategy here. Core connected, pulling belly to spine, squeezing to midline as best as you can. Then bend right knee, bring it in towards chest, rounded spine, set the foot onto the floor, regain balance right there, plant the feet, now we'll rise. Inhale. Reach into the air, stretch high, exhale, arms down by your side. Yeah, so we can come back to that home base. Deep cleansing breaths. Wonderful, yeah. Get a little drink of water if you need to. Shake out that foot, that leg that you were balancing on if you need to. So you can really kind of let all that tension go. Then eventually just make your way back up to mountain pose, and we're going to flow. When you're ready, at your own pace, inhale, extend your arms into the air. Exhale, chair pose. Inhale, once you're in your seat, reach out. Exhale, dive out of your seat, down towards toes. Forward fold. Inhale, rise up halfway. Exhale, bent knees, hands to the mat, step back. Here's plank. Come down if you'd like. Chaturanga Dandasana. We're just going to make this flow. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. A little adjustment of feet and hands if need be. Continuing, inhale, extend the right leg up. Bend and twist open. So bending the knee, lifting the knee. Exhale, unwind, step through, right foot to the top of the mat. Left heel turns to the floor. We're going to warrior one. Shifting the weight back, let's rise up when you're ready, reaching into the sky. Exhale right away into your warrior two. Settling in. Side angle, reach out. Right arm down, left arm up into the air. Breathe in just to open the body. Exhale, turn towards the floor. Hands to the mat. Back to down dog. Sweep the right foot back and up into the air. There's our down dog again. Exhale, right foot returns to the top of the mat. Let's stay here in our runner's lunge. Maybe bring those blocks in next to left hand underneath you, if you'd like, if you can. Okay, place left hand on the blocks to give you a little bit of a lift. Swing the right arm out to the right side and just continue turning torso until you create a twist. Now, if you can see me, I haven't turned completely. I'm at an angle. My left arm is not reaching for the sky, but more at an angle. If this is where you are, then this is perfect, because you don't have to do a full rotation just to protect your back. Yeah. Breathe in and exhale. We're going to bring the hands back down to the floor. Then rise to a high lunge. Hold for a moment. Find those established centering effects, squeezing inner thighs towards each other. Belly pulls in, squeeze into midline with the arms. Finding something to focus on out in front of you. So using these little strategies to help us be in balance. We're going to inhale, lift a little so we can pivot and open to a warrior two. Let's take this to triangle. We're straightening the right leg, shorten the distance between the feet if you'd like. Yeah, reach out, tip it over. Let's hold that for a moment. A couple breaths, perhaps. To come out, let's bend the right knee first. Coming back up through a warrior two, and then reverse your warrior. Right hand, yes, reaching into the air. Now we're going to immediately windmill. Bring your hands down to the floor in front. We're going to step back into plank pose. Complete your sequence as you'd like. Meet together in downward facing dog. Other side, whenever you're ready. Inhale, sweep left leg up into the air. Bend and twist open. With your exhale, you'll unwind, stepping left foot to the top of the mat. Basic flow, so it's the warrior one. So right heel turns to the floor. Rise when you're ready. Your exhale to warrior two. Maybe, a little wider with the feet if you'd like. Side angle right away. Reaching out, tip it over, rotate the arms. Good. We're just going to inhale. We're still in motion. The exhale will turn, hands to the mat. Back to down dog. Sweep left foot back and up into the air. Down dog. Exhale, left foot to the top of the mat. Hold for a high lunge. Hold for a runner's lunge, so stay low. So shifting weight back a little bit. We're bringing the blocks in if you need them for our twist. Right hand comes to the blocks. Left arm sweeps out to the left side and start turning your torso in that direction. Remember, you don't have to make that a full rotation unless that feels great and good on your own body. Yes. Excellent. Great poses. We're breathing in. The exhale to return to the earth. Keep making sure you're still centered. The weight is shifted back. No weight in the hands, so we can easily rise to a high lunge from here. We're reaching up and lunging low. Find balance. Find your center. Find your focus. These are the things that allow you to step away from home base out into that unknown sometimes. All right, we're going to breathe in and lift up a little bit so we can easily open, return to a warrior two. We'll set up for triangle, lengthen left leg, maybe less distance between the feet if you'd like. Reaching out over this left thigh, tip it over. We'll hold here for a few breaths. Get that nice leg extension. Good breathing, everybody. Make sure there's breath. Ready to come out of the pose. We'll start with that bent left knee. Just lunge so you can easily come up. Warrior two, then reverse your warrior. Good. Reaching into the air. Good extension. Now we'll windmill. Bring in the hands down to the floor. Step back into plank pose. Finishing the flow. Up dog. Downward facing dog. Go ahead and take another quick break. Bring the knees to the floor. If you're able, maybe sit back into hero pose or just take a regular seat. Get some water, take a break while I quickly demonstrate what's happening next. So I'm just going to return to the home base for a moment. Okay, so I'm shifting weight. I'm going to step into tree pose. So weight's on my right foot, tall here, floating the left foot up, swinging it out, plugging it in. And so I got my tree pose. Okay, so we'll hold there for balance. Then I'm going to swing this left knee forward, do what we did earlier, lifting the knee, bend the right knee in this case, and tip. Now my arms are extended, okay? So I'm reaching out for a warrior three, or you can still bring hands to hips, hands to thigh, hands to the floor or blocks, whatever you need, okay? Then we're going to just finish and just step down behind us into the high lunge. We're going to continue our flow. We're just going to take this to a side angle. Okay, from here, I'm going to rotate and bring left hand down to the floor or blocks. I got to relift that back heel, and then I'm going to go into my revolving posture here. Now I'm going to add a new pose. We're going to play with this. I should surprise you, but I'm going to give you a little preview of it. So I'm going to balance in this position. So I'm going to shift my weight forward. You can see I'm moving from center, moving forward. And I can even use these blocks because basically give myself a little push and balance on this right leg. I'm in a revolving half moon position. And this leg will want to drop. Just going to keep kicking it up. Just kick the air. And then we're going to unwind this into half moon. And to finish, I'm going to unwind, square out the hips. I'm going to bend this left knee, bring it in, hold. And I'm going to bend this right knee and even sit back and down a little bit because I want to get my hands off the floor. And I'm standing up and extending that leg. And then bring the foot down and finishing. Okay, it's really easy. Okay, so just go ahead and do it. On your own, right? All right, downward facing dog. I will certainly guide you. Okay, so I threw in some new things. So now it's like, okay, can I do that? Breathe in. Exhale, walk, step, or jump, both feet up to the top of your mat. Stay on your feet. Inhale, rise up halfway. Exhale, fold. Weights in the heels, bend your knees. Inhale, sweep the arms into the air. And exhale, hands to your heart. Let's take a few moments here. Take a few breaths. Deep breaths, knowing this is your home base. Think about how you began your practice and just feeling rooted into the earth, grounded. Let those words that you generated earlier pop up in your mind again. Take your time with all of this. Tree pose. Start shifting your weight into your right foot. Root down. Tall, lengthened spine, core control. Let's lift the left foot, swing the knee out to the side, plug it in, left foot to the inner thigh. Whenever you're ready, I'm going fast, but you don't have to. Reach up into the air. Maybe a V-shaped in your arms. Yes. Reach. Find something to focus on. Find that little point out there. All right, here we go. Keep the arms as they are. Swing left knee forward. Lift knee with the flexed foot. Bend the right knee. And then we're going to hinge or tip forward, reaching out with the arms, extending the left leg back. If you can make it to Warrior 3 with the arms extended, stay there. Or if you need to, bring hands to hips, or hands to thigh, or hands down low to the ground or to the blocks. They're all correct. Shift weight back a little bit. Set the left set of toes onto the floor behind you. If you step in close, that's fine. Just keep stepping back. Tap, tap, tap. Step back. And then arms up into the air, high lunge. Lift so we can open to a Warrior 2. Side angle. Reach out, tip it over, right hand down, left arm up into the air. We're getting ready to twist. Breathe in. Exhale, turn to bring left hand to the floor or blocks. Lift up the heel behind you so everything's nice and even. Yes. Sweep the right arm out to the right side and up into the air. Doesn't have to be high at all. Okay, we're plugging into this twist. Now we're going to add that new movement. You're going to balance on your right foot. That means we need to get pressure and weight in that right foot. So shift your weight forward. If you have a block underneath the left hand, just step the block forward until you can easily, hopefully, lift the left leg off the floor. You're still in your twist. Flex the left foot or just give that foot in the air some energy. If it feels like the leg is falling, just keep kicking the air up or keep kicking the leg up into the air. This is a revolving half moon. We need to unwind it. Bring the right hand down to the floor or block. Start turning your torso in the other direction. Left hand comes off the ground, opening up sideways. Left hand comes down, right hand to the block or floor, that's it. And same thing, kick that left leg up into the, there it is, to help open up sideways. You've got it. Breathe in. Exhale, turn to bring that left hand to the floor or blocks. Square out the hips a little bit. Now we're bending the left knee. Bring the knee in towards your chest, let the back round. Now your weight's probably forward. We need to shift the weight back, bend the right knee more. So it's almost like I'm sitting down. You're going to really feel this in your quad. Okay? Take the arms out and up. Standing up, that strong right leg, oh my gosh. Extending the left leg out front. Even if you needed to come to a full stance and then kick the left foot forward, that's fine. Reach. How's that right foot feel? It feels good, huh? Left foot to the floor, arms down by your side. Shake it out, especially that right foot that you were standing on for like 30 minutes, right? Excellent. Okay, that's our sequence. Okay, Coming back to our home base. So we're leaving and then coming back. Starts with tree pose. Start shifting weight into your left foot, root down. Nice and tall, core connected. We'll float the right foot up. Swing the knee out to the side, plug it in. Tree pose. Whenever you're ready, sweep the arms into the air. Use the ground if you need the ground. That's fine. With those toes, yeah? Getting ready for warrior 3. Swing the right knee forward. Lift your knee with the flexed foot. Hold. Bend the left knee. Start to tip forward as the right leg starts to extend back. Reach out. Maybe use the ground if you need the ground with the hands. Or maybe hands can come to hips or to this left thigh. Really reach out through that extended leg, even through the torso. On that, we're going to go ahead and bring those toes down to the floor. If you need to step back, as you can see, I'm still weighted forward here, so I'm just going to step back with that foot so I'm more balanced. Arms up into the air. There's our high lunge, kind of sitting in center. Use your strategy, squeeze to midline, look forward. Opening now to warrior 2. Take your side angle, reach out, tip it over. Breathe in. We're going for our twist. Exhale, turn to bring right hand to the floor or block. Rise up onto tiptoes behind you. Long spine as the left arm swings out to the left side. Twist to that direction. Yes, good. All right, now you should be pretty centered. The weight's in your hips. We need to send the weight forward into the left foot. Step the hand forward along with the block, shifting weight into the left foot enough where the right leg can lift up off the floor. Flex it to energize the leg, to kick it up into the sky, still in your twist, our revolving half moon. Look at that. Unwinding it. Bring the left hand to the floor or block. Okay, right hand goes up into the air, out to the side, and swing open. Kick that right leg up. That's going to help you open the hips sideways enough to open up. Even if you're not completely sideways, you can still be very much in this pose because you're balancing very strongly. Okay, here's that next part, that transition. We're going to turn to bring the right hand to the block or floor. Square out the hips so you feel even as best as you can. Bend the right knee. Bring it in towards your chest, let the back round. Now you're shifting your weight back into the left heel. Bend that left knee a little bit more. So you're almost in this little squat-like position on one foot. You'll really feel this in the leg. If you can, get the hands off the floor. Push into the ground. We need that ground to help stand up. Arms up into the air to get lighter up top and extend that right leg forward, even if it's not parallel to the ground because it doesn't have to be. Then slowly bring foot down to the mat. Arms come down by your side. Back home, balanced on 2 feet. Shake it all out. How's that left foot? Okay. That's a leg workout too, isn't it? Just being in that slow squat position like that, all that's working hard. Back to mountain pose. We're finishing our whole practice now. Take your time as you inhale, reach into the air, big stretch there up top. Exhale, swan dive. Inhale, monkey. Exhale, bend the knees enough, hands to the mat, just step back into plank. One more chaturanga to up dog if you want, or a little shortcut to downward facing dog. It's our last one. Hold us for a few seconds in down dog. Now we're going to the ground. You can bring your knees down to the floor. Sit back into hero, but then slide off onto the mat. Swing the legs around to the front. Find your center in the mat and go ahead and lie down. And go ahead and just hug knees to chest. And some movement here as it feels right for you. Check in with your breath. I know I'm a little out of breath. Just check in to see if you're a little out of breath or just the quality of your breath at this moment. And maybe a few deep breaths so we can find that nice baseline of breath. That's a little bit slower, a little easier, a little deeper. Massaging your back by moving gently, slowly. And now being aware of the ground. Once again, the ground underneath you and what is touching the ground. Choose a hip opener. You can choose happy baby pose or reclining cobbler's pose, or do both of those. Just something for a little hip stretch and release. And any other posture that you would like to add here. You can just stay with this if this feels good. If you are in need or desire a twist like a spinal twist, or an inverted pose like shoulder stand, or just legs in the air, just whatever would feel right these last few moments of our practice together before we make it finally to our another home base. Whenever you feel complete, if you're still in motion and still working the body, please do so until you feel complete. And when you are, just make your way to Shavasana or any other kind of reclining or very restful, restorative posture. And whatever that ends up being, maybe a couple of breaths to help melt into the ground, settle into the ground. Let the body relax completely, or as best as you can, softening the breath, closing your eyes. Mountain pose was our first home base. This is another home base for us. We have a deeper connection to the ground since more parts of the body are grounded. Another word we can perhaps use when we talk about grounding is maybe nurturing, especially when we refer to the earth, like Mother Earth, the nurturing quality of Mother Earth. Return to the awareness of your breath. Take 5 slow, deep breaths. As you're breathing in and out, just feeling the breath move through your entire body and perhaps generating movement within you. And perhaps also with these breaths, just remembering your practice. These challenging balancing sequences. They can be sometimes a little unsettling. They can make you feel a little ungrounded. But knowing that there's a place to come back to, a home base, a place that's nurturing and safe. After your 5th breath, moving slowly, carefully roll onto either side of your body. And truly another nurturing pose, so take a moment to absorb that. And maybe what nurturance means to you. And hopefully that was enhanced a little bit in this practice today. So take that with you. From here, slowly rising to seated. Once you're here, you can just let your arms and hands rest comfortably in your lap or in your legs, or bring hands to heart center. Take a nice full breath in followed by a slow and controlled exhale. Feel the softening of the body and just settle into that stillness, this ease of self. And as we complete our practice together, we bow saying, Namaste. All right, great job, everybody. Yes, you are welcome. My pleasure. Thanks for joining us, you guys. See you later.